Hello everybody, welcome back to Trash Comps. We were playing across the Obelisk today, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and that is exploring sandbox mode. So sandbox mode was a new mode introduced in the DLC patch where they gave us all these modifiers to add. We can add crazy buffs and crazy monster buffs. I've set everything to the very maximum limit to see if this is possible. This means one hero, two monsters, and both are champions, and they also deal an incredible amount of damage. I thought that the amount of buffs we were getting would help compensate for all the damage and HP the monsters were getting, but one hero ended up being a lot more difficult than I anticipated. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So here we have Reginald. He's going to be buffing himself with Bless and Powerful. We have Invulnerability, to survive really rough turns and give us time to scale up. However, Guardian Angel does cost quite a bit of energy, so it's a real balance between drawing cards and getting energy in order to sustain and grind out a fight. I skipped forward a little bit ahead in the fight to show that I was indeed able to beat the sheep and survive a turn being hit. Reginald's great at applying Sanctify and healing himself up with all this Bless because I'm still having Bless heal him. And so we only need a little bit of Sanctify in order to heal basically up to full. However, full health is not enough to survive one pig attack. I tried the fight again, just doing it a little bit better this time, a little bit cleaner. Still has to go all the way to round 6 in order to actually clutch out the victory here. And we immediately run into another fight that is exactly the same. Short while later, and by short while I mean all the way to round 9 on this incredibly sped up footage, we are able to get the victory, go down the hatch, fight another pig, kill that pig. We have one tied up, so we're going to be going down to the pit. We get a nice purple flash there. And here we have a pig and a farmer standing in between us and getting one more energy and powerful in our deck. I try for quite some time doing the same thing that I was doing before, just getting some buffs and energy through Guardian Angels, Holy Smites, and Divine Grace. All the good classic stuff. I am killing him, and I thought that being protected from all debuffs would protect me from Purge. Unfortunately, it does not, and I lose all of my Bless. So I give this fight quite a few more rounds and a few more attempts, but it ultimately was pretty impossible for me to end up winning. And here we have the next deck that I'm going to be trying. It has a lot of flashes, a lot of the same ideas behind it, and this time I'm actually buying a pet because a pet is going to help me out a bit in terms of just dealing out that damage each turn. And since the fights are lasting so long, I figure it really can't hurt. I should have had one last time, I just totally forgot because I was being silly. This time we have an imp and a pig to fight, so a little bit different from our sheep and our farmer. I know that I probably shouldn't fight farmers ever again. They're a little bit too difficult. This time I'm trying out Holy Ripple because it bounces around a lot, and I'm hoping that with Bless it'll just do enough damage even though it loses the bounce, plus it costs a little less energy than Radiant Assault. I'll skip ahead in the fight again. Round 4, the imp likes to do a fun little attack where it blows itself up, so as long as I'm invulnerable, I'll survive the 4,000 damage it likes to do. Unfortunately, I forgot to check ahead again, and there turned out to be another farmer. I gave it enough tries to realize that I still can't beat farmers, and vow to check all my paths to make sure there's no farmers. Here, I also was like, hey, maybe I can skip ahead and go straight to town too. It only leads halfway through the act, so yeah, I tried reloading, forgot that I need to cancel out that try, and we give it a whole nother go. I had a genius plan to get straight to Act 2 to get all the cool items. Turns out you can't do that. I had never used that option before, and I guess I never will again, because you just lose out on experience and card fights and shards. So I'm checking the path diligently. I'm on my 6th Reg solo deck. I was trying this for quite some time, and gonna continue on this path of wondrous adventure. Pig and corn, I still have yet to test, make sure it was a safe fight. It was. Another imp fight. Imp fights are great, because when they blow themselves up turn 4, it's usually a pretty easy win on turn 4 or 5, and Reginald can knock that out. So here I get over halfway through the act, quite a bit further, and we end up facing a harpy and one of these fire guys. They like to stuff cards in your deck. By the way, anything that stuffs cards in your decks makes this really challenging because your deck just gets filled with more and more terrible stuff. I try this fight for quite some time, and ultimately I end up realizing I don't have the deck to beat it. They stuff my cards, or my deck with too much stuff and can deal enough damage that I ultimately can't survive a single hit. So I have to rethink my plan and hopefully not fight them again. Here I have a fun opportunity to go down and get the straw hat. I make it quite a bit further again, end up fighting the Dryad and the Treant. And it's important to focus on the Treant here because they end up doing a lot more damage in the late game. The Dryad, not so much because their heals aren't that bad and their attacks also aren't that bad. They just end up doing a little bit of a, attack you on you attacking them, which is not a problem when you have invulnerability. We also are able to take out a wolf and this priest guy. So again, damage focused enemies, really not the problem for us. It's a lot more of the debuff focused enemies. This is the first time I make it to Yelmer, and Yelmer is often a trial for many runs when you have 4 heroes. This time only having 1. It's a mono v mono, but it's a real challenge. Yelmer is a beast, and honestly, this fight took a really long time. I think I spent a good 40-45 minutes fighting Yelmer, trying to figure out if it was actually possible to beat him, figuring out the exact timings of when I needed to use Guardian Angels, which was every 3 rounds during the Moonfire rounds. I was actually able to survive in between that. Eventually, he does put out some summons, which is great for me because I need that for both Holy Ripple and for Crescent Light to do a ton of damage, as you'll see in just 1 second. But something more important happened here. Reginald taught me an extremely important lesson, and that's that you can draw through your deck without having it cost more. Now, the reason for this wasn't immediately clear to me. I had this happen quite a few times before I ended up realizing what the cause was, but it turns out that the cause is invulnerability. It protects you from all debuffs, including the debuff of your deck costing more after you've drawn through it entirely. As soon as that happened, I knew there was a real good potential for an infinite. I just wasn't sure quite how. For now, I am in the 2nd act, and I decided to go this land with bunnies, where they have Meteor, and it turns out I can't beat bunnies. It didn't matter that they had Meteor or not, it was just their infinite spawning that killed me. So let's try this again, just a little bit later with no bunnies. So here we are, 2 hours later, all the way at the end of Act 2 this time. Annoying scarabs keep spawning, but I guess they give a little bit of money, which is nice. And we are here at Act 2 boss, somewhere I was really impressed with myself for making it to, because it was not an easy road. I spent a good few afternoons making it this far. This boss ended up being a bit more challenging than I expected them to be. I know that they could summon. I didn't realize that they had a heal on round 3 for 0.6 of their missing health, which is quite significant. But I was waiting for a really good opportunity to use Crescent Light, and I figured if I could learn all the times where I had to use Guardian Angel, I should be able to buff myself up and do just enough damage to make it through. However, the summons end up doing so much damage that I can't survive a single round of them being out, and it turns out that the boss also does so much damage that I can't survive them being out too much. I give it a good 6 or 7 tries, spending about an hour here at least. This is by far the best run I had. However, the boss is just gonna kill me here. Didn't even need his last card. Sadly, this means my time with Reginald is over. However, I learned something very important. And that's if I have invulnerability, and I can find a 0-cost card that stays in the deck and deals damage and draws a card, then I could create an easy infinite loop. So that's where Laya comes in. Now, there is no such card in the game. However, there is a warrior card called Bluff, and it does I think it's like 6 points of blunt damage. It can also apply crack when it costs 1, and it actually stays in the deck. Repetition training is the other piece of this combo. It allows you to take a melee attack from your graveyard, add it to your hand, and reduce its cost by 1. Not until discarded, just permanently. Meaning, I now have the means for an infinite combo. And yes, this is only possible because of the combined card pools of both the healer and the warrior class. Thank you, Laya, for coming out in the DLC. You making this possible saved me a whole lot of headache, and it was a lot of fun figuring out this infinite combo. So all that's left really is to optimize my perks so I can deal as much damage as possible, and then give it a shot and hope that I made a correctly working infinite combo deck. Yeah, the whole reason for just having more damage, by the way, is just so I can click the button to do the combo less times, because honestly, if you had no damage modifiers whatsoever to bluff, it would take forever to get the kill. So yeah, the items here don't matter so much other than the ones that help draw you cards, just so you can increase consistency in your deck. Honestly, I didn't need more resistances or health either. I should have put everything into damage like Fury and health and Bless and all that good stuff, but I forgot to. All that's left is really to check out how this deck does in the first fight. If it works here, it works for every fight in through the rest of the game, meaning that the round is already won, and I'm finally able to take my vengeance on the farmers who are giving Reginald so much trouble. But it's still a really good fun watch to just beat down the rest of the bosses that like I just couldn't get through Reginald with. So yeah, let's watch these infinite combos go. The Ogre stands just as much of a chance as the Farmer did, thanks to the infinite combo and how it works. As long as I'm faster than all the enemies, which I should be with the speed buffs, I should be able to kill them all round one, no matter what stats they have. I just have to make sure my deck stays thin. I don't find infinite combos to be that engaging, but I do find it fun to beat down bosses with infinite combos. So here I'll be playing the clips at about 1,000 times speed. Or not 1,000 times speed, just 10 times speed really. So yeah, here I'll show off my deck and item changes. It's not too much different, honestly, just a bit more draw, a bit more fury, a bit more consistency in the deck overall. I'm using Asmodee, of course, to apply a little bit more mark, just to have that little extra bit of damage. The gameplay is pretty similar, except I have more draw, so I actually am much more easily able to do this. I also use Blood Rage instead of Fanatic, because Blood Rage disappears from the deck when I need more energy. This guy still only takes 72 damage per hit. I do get a purple Guardian Angel, which is also really nice, because it just costs a little bit less. But yeah, I want to find a way to basically just make it take less clicks to kill an enemy. So here, I luckily get Glacial Hammer. However, this does cut down on my consistency because I'm not using Continuum Blade. Man, do I wish that I had those Fury buffs, because every bit of damage here helps this be less of a grind for me. Not as much for you, because here I'm just going to be speeding up all the footage, and you probably would have a hard time counting how many times I have to click. I think it's something like 100 every fighter, maybe more. I could be wrong on that, but yeah. The Hydras actually do go faster than me, which is a little bit scary, but they aren't able to kill me in one shot, so everything is a-okay. And I think it's just a boss montage from here, so I'll let the music play for a little bit. So as the Archon goes down, I just wanted to say that this run was very, very satisfying to figure out and pull off. All my trials and errors with Reginald really paid off with figuring out the deck with Laya. I did mess up my deck a little bit in Act 4, almost ruining the whole thing, but fortunately counted my non-draw cards correctly so that I could win with optimal play. Skipping the Straw Hat hurt my Treasure Hunter's soul just a bit, but we managed to get a purple Monoloop in the end after the Guardian fight, so that was fun. Not that it ever mattered since we never went to round 2. If you think there's another hero that can win under these conditions, I'd love to hear it. Currently, I'm inclined to try a 2-hero squad that doesn't use a Guardian Angel Infinite to see if I could make it through. Also, if you did enjoy the video or have any ideas on how I can improve these types of videos in the future, please let me know in the comments. This is a new video style that takes a bit more effort, so if you let me know that you liked it, didn't like it, or don't care about these, it'd be great to know. I don't think I'll be doing another one of these highly edited videos this month, but if the video does really well, I'll definitely try to do more in the future. Otherwise, yeah, here's Leia's stats going all the way through, all the way to the Obelisk. Really just optimizing for damage along the way, and man, is that a lot of damage she did. 234,307 damage. Somehow 7 of that was burn. I didn't quite catch where that was, but we did it. I know some of the heal was during the Hydra fight where some enemies did hit harder, or sorry, went faster than us, so that was a bit rough. But yeah, those are some insane damage numbers. This was a really fun puzzle to figure out. Getting Catharsis, going on the treasure hunt, not picking any of the treasures, but having all purples in the end because we could buy whatever we wanted. Just the last of my deck. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and goodbye.